All right, guys. So this could potentially be the Brandon and Miyoshi Show. If you guys like it, you know what I mean? If not, then I'm going to kick Miyoshi out of here, and then it could be the Brandon and Samael Show.
I'm done.
I know.
What?
I know. But it could be great, right? And you guys are going to decide, because I want to talk about stuff, and I'm looking for somebody to talk about stuff with. Yep. So boom, right now we got Miyoshi as long as you guys like her. Until when you don't anymore,
we can cut it.
All right, yeah. So here we are. Today's topics is we're just kind of feeling it out. What is the greatest relationship advice you've ever gotten? You didn't have to use it. It didn't have to be true. I'm going to start, right?
So ask me a question, and he's like, "What do you think?" But no, let me tell you what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's hear it.
No, go ahead.
No, because I feel like you're ready.
Go
BT.
I'm not ready, but it just kind of came to me, right?
All right.
So there was this older couple, right? And they were like, yeah, I forgot. I don't even know how it came up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The secret to staying together is going on walks with each other. And I was like, you know, you expect something to be like deep, like never go to bed angry. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, all right, I feel you, right? But what else? And they were like, yeah, go on walks with each other. And I was like, dang. And I thought about like how many great conversations I've had on walks, how many events I've gotten out on walks. And I'm like, dang, like walking low key, might be a little therapeutic.
Right. It's powerful. And I think one thing about conversation is, can I actually sit and talk to you for a while? Like, does your presence bother me? That's what I think they were getting at. Like, you have to be able to be around that person and be comfortable around that person, and that they have something to talk about.
Yeah, but I think that the walk facilitates the conversation.
Yeah.
It's only so long you can walk without, so how are you? You know what I mean? Or something crazy like that. So,
I don't agree. Like, cause I you know when people say, oh, I want to take you out on a date, but then the dude don't want to spend no money.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been on one of those cheap dates when you ain't got no money, but you still want to take the girl out?
Absolutely.
So when I was younger, didn't have no money.
Right.
He definitely didn't have no money.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, we should go take a walk in the park. Now I'm thinking that's corny. That's when I knew he was broke, you know?
That's
but we're kids, you know, teenagers. So it's like, okay, cool. We take this walk and we talk. I didn't notice that we talked for like 4.5 hours, to where my mom texted me like, yo, where you at? And I'm like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Like, and I was a teenager at the time.
Oh.
You know, like it was 9 o'clock. And I was like, dang, I actually can talk to you for a while. That ended up being my boyfriend.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and for a very long time, we could be around each other. We could take a walk. We could talk for hours. And then it came to a point where our conversations matured as we started to go through more things. He went off to college. I was still in high school, and college is a different... VT!
Go ahead.
College is a different ball game, and so he had different stories to bring to the conversations, different experiences.
Absolutely.
And I knew that I could literally talk to him about anything for hours and hours. I never did the phone call thing. That was weird back in the day when people used to just be on the phone talking about nonsense. That wasn't my thing. But in person, it's a powerful thing. Like, I still respect him to this day. We're not together, but that was a cool...
Clear, right?
Yeah, let's be clear, you know. But it was a moment that I really appreciated.
Okay,
so have you done it? Have you taken a girl out and y'all just talked for hours, walking in the park, moonlight? No.
Absolutely. And what's funny is that I just thought of that piece of advice right now. But I thought about like, yo, I've actually done this and it's actually been great. Like this, I see what they were doing. You know what I mean? And they've been married for like 50 years or something like that. So I thought that was like pretty crazy.
That's beautiful.
What's your...
My advice is, they try to be deep, but then I thought about it. When you're in a relationship and people talk about like, I'm independent, like it's okay to be self-sufficient, but it's also okay to be dependent on the other. You should be able to say, I depend on you to carry your weight, and you depend on me to carry my weight. And being dependent is not a bad thing. Amen. It's when dependency and dictatorship start to take a place, where I'm dependent on you, and then you're just like, you have to listen to everything that I say. I make the decisions based on how I feel and not thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that, yes, I can be self-sufficient. When I say independent, understand that I have to also recognize it's okay to be dependent on your partner.
That's, yeah.
So that was like, it was deep, but then it was just like, ooh, but I don't depend on too many people like that.
I think it's interesting now because we live in a world that's like so independent. You know what I mean? And like, you gotta have your this, you gotta have your that. And it's just kind of like, dang, like the collaboration is such a new, or like it's such a language that needs to be reintroduced. And I catch myself like, dang, I'm trying to do everything in my world alone. How much fun is this? Or it's not fun at all. Oh, okay, cool. Like, not even a romantic relationship, just everything. You're just like, it's me against the world. And you're like, oh, maybe it doesn't need to be like that.
Exactly. And I think that's what they're trying to get to. You have to build some type of friendship before you get this like romantic feeling. And so taking that mindset of being dependent on someone, whether it's your mate or it's your cousin or your mother. And it really starts for me at home. Like, I had to see my mom like be dependent on my dad. I had to see my dad be dependent on my mom. I really had to see my dad be dependent on my mom, because you hear men have to come in here and have it all figured out. And in order for your woman to submit to you, you have to have all your checks and balances. And it's just like, there were a point in my life where my dad like wanted to relinquish some of that power because he just really needed help. And my mom was like okay without like trying to put him down or anything, but she was literally just like, I'm your helpmate, like I'm here to be your partner. You know what I'm saying? So that love, that dependency on each other, and that balance, it was like going back and forth, and that's where it's supposed to be. So that was mine.
I think that's such a blessing for that to be like in your home. And I wonder what the effects of that are for people that don't grow up like that. Because I grew up in a single parent home. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is probably why I feel like I gotta do all this stuff by myself, because I've seen one person do it all.
Shout out to Miss Shawnee.
Shout out to you, Mom. So yeah, I think that's super interesting. That's some good advice.
Yeah. And also you have like women, receiving their rights later, in history. And so being an independent woman is where it's at. So like, I get it, but then you have a bunch of independent, career-driven, bad looking, depressed single women out there.
That's gonna end this segment. That is funny.
But it's real though.
Yeah.
It's real. And it's just like, calm down.
Or I just think there needs to be like a class. You know what I mean? A class on like balance maybe, because, and I'm not saying you need a class, but what I'm saying is that like, there's just so much to learn. You know what I mean? There's so much to learn, and like you kind of have to be patient with yourself in order to learn it. And I think that's like the hard part, because there's not like a constant reminder of patience, but there's always a constant reminder of time and your biological clock and why you ain't did this by this age. And why, you know what I mean? Like there's every type of clock you could ask for, but there's no type of like, breathe, sit your ass down, it'll be fine, it'll work itself out. You know what I mean? There's not that constant thing. So there just needs to be a class. That'd be dope.
That class will be dope, but it also will be, it will be too much, because sometimes you just have to go through it. I feel like that, yes, we can take the class, you get all the rules, and you still gonna go out there and do whatever you want to do. Yeah. It's about the person, accepting their responsibility, accepting their place in the relationship. Like I said, with friendship, you still have to play that role before you even get there. You also have to love yourself and understand your capabilities, understand what you offer, what you bring to the table. And this is another thing I want to bring up, is always wanting and desiring to be in a relationship, but you're not equipped, nor are you ready to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you have these people that get in these relationships, they don't know how to love. They get in these relationships, they don't know how to communicate. They get in these relationships, all they're thinking about is the biological clock. Like, I have a couple friends that used to think like that, and I had to like, hey, look, you put too much time on this dude, he's gonna be like, time is out for me, I'm out. You know, like, I'm done with this. I've been taking up too much time. So I don't think it's necessarily like, yes, you can have a class, but at the same time, I think we need to look at ourselves, prepare ourselves first to be a whole person in entering into a unit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally, I agree with that. So maybe just a TED Talk instead of a class.
Well, yeah, like, you don't need no whole course.
Totally.
And then you childish, you just want to go back to school for no reason.
Hey man, they might get rid of these loans. They might get rid of these loans. Biden, how's your boy? Come see
I'm
me.
ready.
Do you feel like because you haven't been in a relationship in a couple years, you feel out of practice?
Definitely. No, seriously.
But do you feel like the principles are still the same?
Nah, because people evolve and change. so it's a different ball game. Like, I'm seeing more like interracial relationships, which is a whole different subject. I'm seeing, you know, people step out of their age bracket more in my, like, for my generation. Like, I'm seeing all different types of varieties of dating that it makes me a little nervous. Like, it makes me a little nervous, and also I feel like, you know, I lost my like little touch, you know, when I'm out here talking. Right. Like, sometimes it might be a little awkward. I don't really know. I'm rusty. But I for some reason keep people together. Yeah. It's like I'm the therapist, and I'm like, y'all know I ain't in a relationship.
Right. And that's why I think that maybe the principles may not change, because like for me, I've been single-ish for a long time, right?
So basically, he's been in situationships.
Yes.
Entanglements.
I mean, I don't necessarily get too tangled, but yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it's just kind of like getting, I don't think that the rules have necessarily changed. I just think it is like just getting back into the box of the rules. You know what I mean? Whereas like when you're single, like you're just doing whatever you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you're in a relationship, there's just a different way that you have to move, and it's like remembering that. You know what I mean? And it's like the longer that you've been able to move however you want to move, now when you get in a relationship, you're like, oh damn, today? You know what I mean? Like I gotta move right today? Oh shit. Oh shit. So
no, that's real.
It gets a little bit tricky in that sense.
That's real.
Or at least that's like my take on it, is like just kind of changing your life. You know, you're doing 60 on the freeway, and then today you're in the first lane. You're gonna kill somebody doing 60 in the first lane. You know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna die.
This is such an LA conversation.
You don't want that. You know what I mean? So you gotta gradually get from that third lane, that second lane, then you're in the first lane. Here you are.
That makes sense. And to piggyback off of what I mean, like changing, for instance, like social media. There are now new rules with dating and social media for people.
But
right? I think... Wait a minute. Because in some relationships, social media is a big entity. It's like a big thing. If you don't post me, I've been in like debates with couples about, I feel I should have went to school for therapy. I should have been a psychiatrist, signed some law. Anyways,
get your degree to
you know what I'm saying?
Let it out. Ring out.
Do it. But anyways, I've been in conversations with couples that they're like, oh, he doesn't post me. Oh, she doesn't post me. I'm a ghost. No one knows that I exist, right? And to me, it shouldn't mean anything. I could care less. Right. You post me, hey, what's up, world? You don't post me, our unit is still alive. Right. You know, like
we're okay at the house.
We're here. Right. You know, it's a family out here. But nowadays, it's important. Yeah. And I'm not that person. Like even when dating, they're like, oh, you don't talk about dating as much. Like you don't share your dating experience on social media. Like we don't know what's going on. Just ask me. You know, like friends and family. Right. It's just weird. Like social media is a part of making a relationship or establishing the validity of the relationship, which sucks.
And I think that goes back to a basic principle of relationship and communicating. And communicating with your partner. Does this matter to you? Because even if it does matter to you, it doesn't matter to me. So here we are. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things where it's not like, I think the issue is, I think the expectation where you're waiting to be posted. You're waiting for, you know, this outside validation to be like, we're a fish now. Check us out. Like us. You know, and it's like the social media like monster that has been created. But I think it's like, as long as your partner understands and can communicate in that language, or as long as your partner understands that you do or you don't, and they're not waiting for it, then I think it makes it all manageable.
Okay, so now this goes into, for me, sacrifice and compromise. Sacrifice
and compromise, I think, is tricky because you just don't know how much. And I think that there is no answer, there is no rule on how much. You know what I mean? I think it is like you find a way to not change yourself, your core values, but you gotta change yourself. You know what I mean? Like you have to adjust, and you have to like bend to be in. You gotta bend to like fit another person. You know what I mean? And I think in most cases, like you naturally kind of bend, right? And then you get in this space, and you're like, oh, this is great, you know. But you got to be here, and this is the like this part is easy, this link, you know. But then when you got to get here, you like. Well, take my arm, why don't you?
You just don't want me to be me.
Take my arm. Take it. It's yours now.
No, so that's real.
It's an interesting space, and I don't know. I think we should find somebody who can give the proper answer for that, because I don't know. What do you say?
It's pretty similar to what you're saying, but I also feel like when you become like in this partnership, you start to change to fit each other. Like you start to understand the likes, the dislikes, you know, things that might make your girl mad or might make, you know, your partner mad, or you know, try to say partner, you know, let's be inclusive. Make your partner mad and stuff. So you know how much you are willing to sacrifice, or like you start to learn how much you need to sacrifice based on knowing your partner as you continue to progress to know your partner. And you know, for me, sacrificing is hard. It's like super, super hard. But then you see like these couples have been together for like 80, what, you know, not 80 years, but like 50 years.
But that don't count.
And
they didn't have cable.
They didn't have cable, social media.
You know what I mean?
That's like, true. But it's just so
that's
cute.
That's a whole different thing.
Like, but they all say the same thing.
Right.
Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. And I don't think that's fair.
I agree.
I think it's happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah.
Like, you know, happy, you know, it's we both
life,
in this.
Yeah, happy life, happy wife. Look. Happy something on the side. That's what it's gonna lead to. Ladies, don't let these little sayings, these little t-shirts or coffee pots fool you. Happy wife, that jug is upset. Happy something on the side. Happy girlfriend.
You basically just saying he will have a side piece.
I am not saying that
there will be an entree and there will be side. Okay, no, not you, me but
he, not me.
Yeah,
wait,
yeah. We separate Claire. There will be.
Look, he/him. That's not me/me.
Right. We clearing that up.
Hell nah. But yeah, yeah. So be mindful.
Definitely.
Well, I feel like this was a great pilot episode of the Brandon Miyoshi Show. If you would like more, like and subscribe. I'm just saying. Let us know if you'd like us to tackle some more topics. Drop some topics. Message us. We're here for you.
I'm dead.
What the kids are doing?
No, they're doing. Wait, the girl said Corvette. Corvette is wrong. It's Corvette.
Oh.
So we got it.
Okay. I'm gonna cut the tape. That's it.
And we're out.